Hello, my name is Professor Andrew Harvey, and I deliver a course in the Econometrics Summer School at Cambridge. The course we do at Cambridge is we've done for some years now. We were doing it before COVID, and then we had a break, obviously, and now we're doing it after. It's a two-day course, and it assumes that participants have got some knowledge of time series. So it's not a course for beginners. And given that knowledge of time series, it introduces them to the mysteries of what's called the Kalman filter and state space models. Now, these models are used now quite a lot. They're used in macroeconomics, for example, widely used, but not everybody really understands what's going on. So what I do in the course is I go through the theory, I explain the theory, and then even more important, what I say is all the potential uses of those state space methods for dealing with common trends, co-integration, data irregularities like missing observations, and it turns out to be a very, very powerful technique. So it's useful in everyday macroeconomics, for example, but that's only one area of application. These kind of models are used in all sorts of areas. So, for example, in the pandemic, what could one do? You know, in the first lockdown, the answer is I developed a new model that used some of the basic theory on epidemics, but then brought across all the modelling experience I'd had in econometrics and used that to actually come up with a new model. And that model proved to be rather nice. And we were issuing forecasts every week or every 2 weeks through the National Institute of Economic and Social Research in London. And we were predicting how many deaths and how many cases there was going to be 2 or 3 weeks in advance. And this was very different from what SAGE was doing. SAGE used completely different techniques. I have to say, we were tending to do rather better in many ways over the short run. My colleague also, who originally comes from India, and he did a lot of work for states in India, and he was helping them make predictions of what the pandemic was going to do next. And that work proved to be extremely useful and very valuable to those state governments. The state space models have a wide variety of uses. So I show the theory, but then we use the stamp package in order to put it all into practice. And we've got a wealth of data sets from all sorts of different areas, economics, climate, and so on. And so participants get a real feel of how you model data, how you use it, how it's useful for forecasting. So that's essentially day one. Day two, we kind of move up a gear in that what we try to do is look at nonlinear models. And again, the state space form is crucial. There's been lots of ways of doing nonlinear models, but this offers a coherent way of developing the subject. And I look at what's called moment-driven models and score-driven models, and I contrast the two, and then I show how those apply to financial econometrics, particularly modelling volatility.